JB, how are you, brother?
Yeah, good, brother. Good.
That's
You and
good.
you?
Yeah. Another incident-free week. Has there been an incident?
Oh, not really. There's something that
I've got my headsets off.
Hey, can you hear us there, Jeff?
Jeff. We're live, so
I'm not on mute.
Have you got the volume turned up, brother?
I'm not on mute.
Got the volume turned up?
I'm up as
we
high as
are
I can
live.
on my
We are
volume.
live.
Oh, okay. Hey, you heard me. Did he?
No.
We are live. So I'm gonna go
Is there a
straight
volume
into it.
button here?
Is there a volume button up the top? Should be up the top of your, next to your, how much battery you got and all that sort of stuff.
And just while you guys are doing that, good evening to everyone. Welcome to JB and CJ. Again, just a little bit of difficulties here, technical difficulties. We're trying to work it out. So, just we got Jeff Settons on with us.
You guys through the internet or through Facebook?
No, not through Facebook, brother. No, internet. What I'm going to do is remove Jeff there. So, and we'll try and get Jeff back. But yeah, look, there's a little bit of issues there. But why not have a few issues, brother?
I know, yeah, that's right. But listen, before we do anything, I'm going to do an acknowledgement to country if there's no kind of, problems with that.
No pushback?
And no pushback. So yeah, I'm over at Wynnum, so I'm on Quandamooka country. So Quandamooka is the bay, the whole of the bay, including Moreton Island
and
North Stradbroke Island. You can't hear us still. And part of the Nunakal people's country, but also part of the Agata people's country. So I'm here, I'm safe. It's a great place to be. I've always loved coming to this part of the world. I've got to say a g'day to my family up in Yidinji, the Yidinji people up there in Gimoy, and also family up in the Torres Straits from Badu Island, Badigal people, where my father comes from, and of course my mother comes from the Cairns area. And also pay my respects to those elders, in particular, Uncle Ray Minicon. Pay my respects, and so proud of what he did on Anzac Day. So that's my intro at the moment, brother.
Yeah, thanks, brother. And as always, beautiful intro and beautiful acknowledgement. And I too want to acknowledge traditional custodians where we all work, meet, and play, and just pay the utmost respect. To all our elders, past, present, and any up and coming, and all our ancestors, our old people that have forged the way for us. Really, we're on Bigamore country today. Tonight. We're down at Gundawindi. And look, such a beautiful, as you said, beautiful place. This is a beautiful place too, and beautiful people. And we ran a workshop today, and it was absolutely magnificent. Beautiful people, beautiful. It was just really good to see, and I suppose I want to acknowledge my mob too, the Muddy people, and I want to also acknowledge my mother's side, her Scottish side as well. So, like my dad's Aboriginal, my mum's not. She's Scottish. So I want to acknowledge her as well and her people. Look, there's so much shit going on, CJ, around, welcome to country and, and these sort of things. And that's why we had Jeff Sentence lined up tonight to have a yarn about, what was going on with the, on Anzac Day. Because as you know, brother, I mean, I actually, we spoke the other day, and you and LB were having a yarn, and I didn't know anything about it because I've been out in the 2.5 hour run and hadn't been on any social media or anything like that, so I didn't have a clue what was going on, brother.
Yeah. Now, I thought I also missed it. I didn't see anything live. I just heard the noise, I suppose, on Facebook and on all other social media outlets, and the news, I guess, is another place where you normally hear some, what do you call it? Controversial news.
Definitely.
There's always,
I'm gonna bring Jeff back on. Hopefully, we can hear Jeff this time, or Jeff can hear us.
Jeff.
More to the point. Hey, brother.
How you going, mate?
Can you hear us now? No, obviously not. So,
I just can't hear you for some reason. I can hear you on Facebook, but I can't hear you on the internet. So have I got the wrong link or?
Oh, you can hear us on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you've got the right link because you are on with us.
You're on.
In terms of visual. But if you can hear us through Facebook, we were just talking a little bit about, we've done a welcome to, not a welcome, an acknowledgement of country, and paid respects to our elders. But Jax was just saying he wasn't around on Anzac Day.
No,
when all that happened down in Sydney. So, can you give us a little bit of your thoughts on Uncle Ray's?
Hey, Jack, if I put it on Facebook, can I just call you and talk to you over the phone and you can?
Yeah, sure, brother.
I don't know whether that'll work or not. I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing anyone. I don't know why. On Facebook it works, but it ain't working here. Send me a link. Send me a link to Messenger or something.
Your phone number.
I'll get you on Facebook and maybe put me on speaker.
Yeah, that's the one.
Just, but
I don't know whether that'd work.
Well, you can't
or
hear
send
us,
me a link to Messenger.
maybe
that
us,
might work.
Okay,
hang on. You can stay on, mate, if you like. I mean, get him to stay on because we can see a vision of him.
Yeah.
He can ring us. Yeah.
I'm gonna ring now. Oh, there's gone.
Okay,
all right. Keep talking, brother. Keep talking.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I didn't hear it either, mate. I just heard it on the usual channels, the Facebook page, social media platforms, and people. Actually, there's a lot of people were very, very disappointed about what happened on that day.
Well, it's pretty disappointing. I mean,
it is. I mean, not just us, mob, but everyone that was there to commemorate the Anzacs, and they keep forgetting who was about that.
Now I think we've got Jeff here. Jeff, you there?
I'm on Messenger. I can hear you.
You can hear us. So maybe if you log back in with your back onto Restream and come back on, we'll be able to use this as the audio, and you'll be able to be seen as well, brother.
Done. I'm coming back on
all
now.
Right,
so I don't know what's going on, so I'm not really.
That's all right, brother. That's all right.
Not really sure.
No dramas. Yeah, so you'll have to mute yours, brother.
Mute your computer.
Mute
Yeah, I'm muted my computer.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm not sure then.
No, probably not on the same computer. I think you probably need the phone, mate.
Maybe call me on the actual phone and not Messenger. So,
Yeah.
Okay, all right. No worries, brother. No worries.
Jack will ring you.
Send your phone number through, brother, because I haven't got your phone number. Well, there you go. That's a bit of a balls up, isn't it? So
I reckon
it just goes to show, like it probably talking volumes about what we're actually, speaking about, brother. So.
Well, yeah, maybe they're, maybe the yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe the powers to be are cutting us out there because
down,
like it's probably going to be a little bit of. I've got Jeff back here again, so.
Can you hear me now? I can hear you guys.
Hey, we can hear you.
Technology worked. I've got a cup of tea, so it must have worked.
Yeah, no, mate. Yeah.
Cup of tea, brother.
That's the trick.
I actually do apologise because we're a little bit behind. So technology is amazing in the world today, isn't it? What would we do without technology?
Well, it's getting too good, mate. That's what the problem is.
So, I know you invited me on to have a little bit of a chat about Anzac Day and about the welcome to countries and that sort of things and what happened in 3 dawn services around the country. And for me, I actually walk in three shoes, or three worlds, as we call it. I mean, we've spoken about walking in two worlds for a number of years, the white men's world and the black men's world, but I actually walk in the veterans world as well. So it becomes a very complicated world that, you know, we're in when you're working three of them. So I just want to go back a little bit to the welcome to country. And if I'm wrong, please let me know, because I'd like to be educated. But my idea of welcome to country is that they were introduced back in the 1970s by Ernie Dingo and his mate Mark, someone I can't think about his name, to actually for significant cultural events. That's what my understanding was. And one of the first events was the Polynesian delegation landing at the airport in 1976, where they done a welcome to, you know, the country at the Perth airport. So my understanding was it's significant cultural events. So am I right on that, or is that what they were originally designed for?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's
okay. Beautiful. Yeah. No, you can stop me at any time. So then they have a little bit of a roll on, you know, around the country. And about the late 1980s, early 1990s, the government come on board. Okay, the government come on board and said, we're going to run with these welcome to countries, and we're going to run with them not just at significant cultural events, but we're going to run with them at all events. Okay, and Jack, we've seen them at not just NAIDOC events, but, you know, when they've put on a new minister, or, you know, they've done a number of things, they've done a welcome to country. So am I on the right track with welcome to country at the moment?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I think you are, brother. But look, the other thing is too that people that need to understand that when we talk about welcome to country, it's actually welcome to our own individual countries in Australia, not welcome to Australia.
100%. I 100% agree with you, but the veteran community and family don't see it that way. So we've got to start looking at the bigger picture. So if we go back to World War One, okay, because we're talking about Anzac Day, so we've got to go back to World War One. So World War One basically started on 1914, finished on 1918. Okay, during that period of time, 416,000 Australians enlisted to join the forces in that period of time. We sent 330,000 soldiers overseas, and in those 330,000 soldiers, there was 1,300 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander soldiers. Magnificent, considering we weren't even considered as Australians back in those days, and yet we put our hand up and said, "We'll go and fight for you. We'll do this." So over that period of time, over World War One, that 4-year period, we lost 60,000 people. So 60,000 people paid the ultimate sacrifice with their life. Okay,
150 Australians.
Yep, Australians, just Australians. 156,000 were wounded. Some seriously wounded, some just wounded and got returned home. 4,000 were held in POW camps. Okay, out of that 60,000 that were killed, there was somewhere between 250 and 300 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. They died as well. Okay, but they actually paid the price of their life. So when we look at the Gallipoli campaign, and a lot of people don't know this, but the Gallipoli campaign ran for 8 months. It didn't run for one day. It started on the 25th of April when we hit those shores. Okay, when we hit them shores and we started battering those shores, a lot of people that hit those shores, we lost 100 people straight away. Some didn't even make it to the shores. They actually died getting off the boats in the water. Okay. So in that Gallipoli campaign, over that 8-month period, 8,700 Australian soldiers died, along with 50 to 70 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander soldiers. They died in that campaign as well. That's been noted. Okay, 2,700 Kiwis died in that campaign over that 8-month period. So when we're looking at doing dawn services, veterans look at I know what me and you think about the welcome to country. We're welcoming into people on the land that the dawn service is being held on. Okay, 100%. I haven't got an argument in that. A lot of veterans think that you're welcoming people to the country. And why should they be welcomed to the country that A, they were willing to sacrifice their life, B, their friends died in campaigns around Australia, C, people come back wounded physically and wounded mentally. Okay, wounded mentally. Now, I think for us, it's gone past the line of no return. I think it's now coming to how do we educate that a welcome to country is not disrespectful to the Anzacs, but it's trying to acknowledge the Anzacs of what they've done in that particular time. What most people are seeing at the moment, and I suppose the government, and I'm sorry, the government's got a big play to this. What people are saying at the moment is welcome to country just being plagiarised, being just plastered everywhere. And then I've heard a lot of people say, oh, they went up there and done the welcome to country, and they done it because they wanted to honour the veterans or honour the Anzacs. And I understand that, and I appreciate that, but why did they get paid for it then? If they were actually doing it to honour the veterans and honour the Anzacs on Anzac Day, why did they get paid for that welcome to country? Can anyone answer that? Can anyone tell me? The guy in Melbourne, $4,500 he charged for that welcome to country. And he hasn't come on and said that he didn't charge that. Okay, the average of welcome to country we know is around about $700. Okay, so why then, if they're doing it as an acknowledgement, if they're doing it as a respect to the actual Anzacs and the veterans, why do they charge for it?
Yeah. Jeff, who else gets paid to attend those ceremonies?
None. No one.
Are they on a wage?
No one, mate.
Oh, okay.
We actually do the ceremony. I done a ceremony at the Sunshine Coast, and I sent Jack the actual O that I done. I done the ceremony at the Sunshine Coast Turf Club. We've been in partnership with them. Our Veterans Wellbeing Foundation has been in partnership with them. We don't get paid to do anything. We're just volunteers, mate. I can't say. Obviously, the diplomats do it. I'm all for. I think that the people are saying, well, what's the way around this? What is our scapegoat? How do we actually move forward? And if we look at some of the actual ceremonies, let's look at Brisbane, okay? I mean, let's look at Queensland. And CJ, you're a Queensland boy. You're a man of man. Townsville, okay? Fantastic, huge success. No welcome to country, no acknowledgement, nothing. Cairns, okay? A beautiful acknowledgement of country followed by a ditch. It's an acknowledgement, because when we do an acknowledgement of country, we're acknowledging the sovereignty. We're acknowledging all of us. Where a lot of veterans think that welcome to country, a lot of veterans think that they think they don't belong in the country, and then you're welcoming them to that country. That's
Jeff, can I just jump in here for 1 minute?
Oh, for sure, 100%.
I mean, I think we all know the difference between an acknowledgement and a welcome.
Yep.
And so, like if I'm on my country, you're on your country, or CJ's on your country, you can do that welcome. Otherwise, any other country that we're on in Australia is an acknowledgement.
Correct.
We're not actually acknowledging or welcoming people to Australia as what might be getting mixed up with the Anzacs, on which got complete and utter love and respect for all Anzacs and everyone that's fought for Australia. But the thing that's actually happening is and as you know, brother, I mean, you've got your own country here. So it's about us, I suppose, being able to now educate people around the different countries around Australia. And that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about welcoming people to Australia. So we're not welcoming people to their own country, but we're actually welcoming people into our own different little countries around Australia.
I agree with you, brother, and you know that. You know me, and you've spoken about acknowledgements and welcomes for many years. I mean, we first met when we were doing the leadership course through Faxia many years ago down in Melbourne, and we spoke about the different cultures and different backgrounds, and I think it's all about now an education process. It's all about now. Okay, how do we educate people to understand what an actual welcome to country means? And I think us three here, I think we've all got a responsibility somewhere along that line there to actually do that. Because if you look at the situation that's happening at the moment, what's happening at the moment is RSL Australia now is re-looking at welcome to countries. Okay, so they're re-looking at whether they're going to pull the pin on it or whether they're going to actually continue with it. Now, it's not up to the RSL Australia to make the decision for other RSLs around the country. They can just say what they think. Okay, they can just say maybe this, but every RSL and sub-branch around the country, it's up to them, brother, on what they run during their ceremony, because it's up to them whether they run an acknowledgement or whether they run a welcome to country. Now, when I turned on that TV Saturday morning at about 7 o'clock in the morning to have a look at what was going on around Australia, I was actually horrified. I was like, my God, what is really going on here? And I had a ceremony that I had to do at the Sunshine Coast Turf Club, and then I've got the racing community and the veteran community coming there, and I had a acknowledgement of country planned to do that. And for 3 hours, from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock that morning, I toiled with myself and spoke to some people on whether I should do an acknowledgement of country or not, or whether I just run with a neutral ceremony just for this time. It done my head in, brother. It absolutely done my head in to try and walk in three worlds. I'm walking in the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander world. I'm walking in the whitefellow world, and now I'm walking in the veteran world to say, what am I going to do? And to my sorrow and to my heart, I actually pulled that acknowledgement of country. After hearing everything, seeing everything, I thought I didn't need this. My head would be done in. I just went with a solemn, respectful Anzac Day ceremony. And I'm not saying welcome to country, not respectful. I just had to make that decision, and it pulled my heart apart. It pulled my head apart.
I think, as you said, brother, like it's up to all of us to be able to educate people around the welcome or the acknowledgement of the country, because I mean, as we say, it's not a welcome to Australia. And I don't know, we could bring up the Tyndale map and show people, all the different countries in Australia.
Yep.
Original countries in Australia. And that's what we're talking about here. We're not actually talking about welcome to Australia. So, I mean, if it's up to us to educate, it's surely up to other people as well to learn a little bit about our history. It's not all up to us. Like our mobs have been through so much as well, and look, we don't want to go into that because we don't want to disrespect, our people that have fought for Australia. But this is something that's pretty passionate to all three of us as well. Around our acknowledging our mobs. I mean, and how many of our mob have fought for Australia as well. So it's something that's, really close to all of our hearts, I think. And I think it is up to us to educate people, but it's also up to people to learn a little bit about our history as well.
Oh, 100%, mate. I totally agree with that. And it's not up to us to actually grab the horn by the balls, as some people say. I mean, it's got to start from the top. It's got to come down from people that are willing to listen, to actually understand of why all this is basically taking place and why we actually do it. And as me and you know, it's not welcoming to Australia. We're welcoming you to the land that you're on. If you're on New South Wales land, we're welcoming you to New South Wales. If you're on Queensland land, we're welcoming you to Queensland land. We're welcoming you to Western Australia. We're welcoming you all those countries. And it's up to sometimes it's up to the veteran community to actually, and the veterans family to actually get that, to understand that and take that. And I was speaking to someone the other day, and they said, well, how do we, basically get around this? And I said, I don't think there's a short-term answer. I said, what I think needs to happen is that if there is an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander soldier in your community when you run Anzac Day, ask them to do the acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
Ask them to get up there and actually do the acknowledgement, wear their medals, do that, and say and be there. Start leading, because if we're not leading as the younger Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, we're not, we say our acknowledgement, we acknowledge our traditional owners past, present and emerging. We need the emerging to step up.
Yeah.
And the emerging are the younger soldiers that have actually served, and they may be out and they may be not serving anymore, but we need them to help educate and to take our next steps.
Jeff, I would imagine that Uncle Ray Minicon is a veteran. His whole family were in the armed forces. Would have done that that acknowledgement to country. I don't think Uncle Ray's from Sydney. He would have done an acknowledgement to country as part of his, duty, in terms of service. You know what I mean? And I know he's a pastor as well. So I don't know. There are times, and I hear you when you say, there are times when Aboriginal people, just general Aboriginal people who have learnt their culture, are asked to do, especially by government, to do welcome to country. Now they don't do that for free for government.
No, God, no. Hell no.
No. But I would imagine that, like you just said, it'd be ideal for anyone, young or old, to get up and do an acknowledgement or a welcome if they're from that country, or welcome to country at the Anzac service. Mainly because they are part of the armed forces. They are serving at that time, or have served, or have come back. They're vets. They do that. I think that might be appropriate. Yeah.
And so,
that's what I'm thinking.
Can I just jump in there too? You can't tell me that people singing the national anthem aren't getting paid to do that as well.
Well, I know when I ran, when I ran my sub branch at Woodford, again, we done Anzac Day ceremony. I have to say, I actually done the acknowledgement for the 2 years that I was at the helm. I actually done that on Anzac Day. And the people, the choir and all that, they were there. I don't know what about the big ones, but I know our choir was completely volunteer. Everyone basically just gave the time for free. No one charged anything. I can't comment about the big events. You might be right, JB. I mean, them big choirs may get paid. I'm not 100% sure, mate. But I know the little sub branches and all that sort of stuff. They run off volunteers and they run off people doing things for nothing.
Now we've got a couple of comments here, so I just want to read them out. Derek Wilson, hello, brother Derek. He said, "Well said, Jack. I feel the issue isn't about welcome to country. It's about a planned attack by the far right racist minority, whom are endeavoring to create hate and division through misinformation."
It could be 100% right.
Yeah, and I'll just we got Ross Bullman there. Hello, brother. Good to see you back on. He said hello, Jack and CJ. And then we got your cousin, Brett Sentence. He said, I think we have all done enough of the heavy lifting. It's time for the wider community to engage and come to terms with the deep connections we have with our countries. And I think, Brother Brett, you've spot on with what you've just said. So it's not all up to it. Yes, it is about us educating people about, you know, the welcome and the acknowledgement of the country, but it's also about other people doing some of that homework around, you know, our culture and what it means, you know, to be able to give that welcome to country, all of that acknowledgement. And, you know, look, we do that acknowledgement of the country every day, like, to be honest. You know, we you know, us that don't live on our own country, we give that every day. So I
100% right.
And I don't think, you know, a few words or a couple of sentences destroys anyone's day by just acknowledging, you know, who our traditional custodians are.
Oh, no, I totally agree with you, and that's why I said it actually done my head in. I was basically horrified when I turned on the TV.
But Jeff, do you see what happens there? Is like, say you as an Aboriginal man, you're then you're forced to make a decision about, you know, and as you said before, living in three worlds. So you're forced to abandon, if you like, your Aboriginality because of, you know, the whole fear factor. And this is what, you know, this is what people are really good at doing, is spreading this fear. You know, we only have to go back a few years to COVID and then the referendum and shit like this, because this is what happens, is the fear gets spread. And, you know, you got these people then booing, you know, Uncle Ray and others across Australia for what? I mean, all we're doing is welcoming and acknowledging, and it should be seen as a sign of respect that you're welcome into country. You know, not, and look, I'm lost for words, to be honest.
I mean, you're not the only one that's lost for words, bro. I mean, I think it's one of those things that have I mean, this has been brewing for a few years. I mean, it hasn't been something that's come overnight. I think probably for the last 3 years, there's been rumblings with welcome to country on Anzac days, and those sorts of things. And I said it probably didn't sort of we lost Jack. It probably didn't make too much of a Jack's back on the other side, but probably didn't make too much of an effect, or the rumblings basically got bigger this year. And if you have a look at one of those, I can't remember what dawn service it was, but it was
Melbourne last year.
Melbourne, was it the Melbourne one?
Last year.
Yeah, it was Melbourne last year, wasn't it? So it was Melbourne again this year.
Sydney this year, and
Sydney as well. And I think Perth was the other one. There was three of them. So was it Perth or was it Canberra? I can't remember. But they arrested. I mean, they arrested a 24-year-old for booing. I mean, I don't understand that. He probably doesn't even know anything about
But Jeff, ignorance is no defense.
No. But what I'm saying is, but why did he boo? Why, without understanding the whole concept of what evidence stands for? I mean, was he? And rumours are going around that these people were actually paid to make, to actually make conflict at Anzac days.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, you know, and I guess it's and I guess that they're disrespecting the whole process here. It's not just it's all about the Anzacs.
I don't think they are disrespecting the whole process, but they're disrespecting. I believe they're disrespecting all the veterans. I spent 16 years willing to put my life on the line for this country, and I think they're disrespecting all the veterans as well, not just.
100%, brother, and no one's disagreeing with that, because that's exactly what we're saying. Is there's so much respect that needs to go out to people that fought for our country, It's that I don't think that's the issue, and I think you're spot on that these people that are booing are not only disrespecting our culture, our Aboriginal culture, but they're also disrespecting all of our people that have fought for our country.
Oh, and the cop out they say, and I've heard the cop out. Okay, the cop out they say, the booing started when the welcome started, and the booing finished when the welcome finished. Well, I don't really care when the booing started and when it finished. You're still disrespecting veterans that have actually stand there. They're still disrespecting veterans that have given their life for us so we can live the life that we're living today. If it wasn't because of the Anzacs, if it wasn't because of the soldiers went to World War I and World War II and Vietnam and Korea and all those, Iran, Afghanistan, all those sorts of places, we wouldn't be in the position that we are in today. We wouldn't be leading the life that we're leading. So to do that, it disrespects the whole picture. It's just a small part.
100%, Jeff. And the thing is, you gave a few statistics before about, Aboriginal people fighting for our great country as well.
Yep.
And, there's, as you said before, it's about living in three worlds, and it really is. And, there's so much that can be said about this, and the disrespect to everyone is just unbelievable.
Yep,
it is.
100%. 100%.
Mate, I've got to say that I was really proud of Uncle Ray Winnicott, who just kept, doing what he was supposed to be doing. And even
I've got to have a talk to Uncle Ray. I've got to educate him on his medals, but that'll be at another conversation.
Yes, and but let's not forget that Aboriginal soldiers came back to this country.
Yeah.
Now,
the same.
I'll give you some education on that. I mean, I know you probably know about it, but
they came back to this country. They weren't recognised by anyone.
They weren't given anything. So when everyone come back from World War One, all the government gave the white soldiers a bit of land. They said, we're giving you this land here. We're giving you this land there. Go and build a house on it. That's what we're giving to you because you actually went and you were willing to put your life on the line and you whatever. The blackfellas that come back, and I'm saying blackfellas, I'm sorry, but that's what we are. So
that's what they call
I'm sick and tired of Indigenous and freaking all this crap. It's like, the blackfellas that come back got nothing.
Got nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing. Why? Because they weren't back in 1918. They weren't even recognised as Australians, mate. You've got to remember that we were born up until 1962 or 64 or something, or 67. No, we were born under the Flora and Flora Act.
67.
67. Yeah. So I was even born under the Flora and Flora Act. So we were born under the same act that dogs are born under. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more, brother.
How long was it?
And I don't understand why.
Be interesting to know how long the Welcome to Country at Anzac has been going on. When did it start?
But 2008, I believe, the first Anzac.
The first that's the first acknowledgement that.
I think that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I tried to Google it, Uncle CJ, about when when it first come into play, at Anzac Day, and they really couldn't. They really couldn't say anything. They just said that 2008 is when it was first introduced to Anzac Day. Now, whether that was a welcome to country or whether that was an acknowledgement, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that was the year that it came in.
Yeah, and every year after that, they had the Anzacs. I mean, every year since the start of the First War, they've had Anzacs, and yet none of the Aboriginal people who died and for this country and came back disrespected, discarded, ever got anything to say at Anzac until 2008.
That's correct. 2008 was the first.
Yeah, I know. As soon as it started, what did they do? Yeah.
2008 was the first time. So
we weren't even recognised as humans.
No. We weren't even recognised as humans.
So we were good enough to fight for the country, but not recognised as humans.
Not just good enough to fight, but good enough to die.
Yeah. Good enough to die, and also good enough to come back to this country and die alone.
Well, I suppose when you look at somewhere between the 1,000 and 1,300 that went to World War One, we're looking at somewhere between 250 and 300 that paid the ultimate sacrifice with their life. We're looking at 1,000 coming back. So out of that 1,000 around Australia, and they just went back to wherever they belonged to, and there was no recognition. There was no
recognition.
There was no nothing. No.
Yeah, we've got a couple of more comments here. Brett Seton said, maybe this is finally the culmination of all the vitriol from The Voice. Perhaps this will finally be a bridge too far for Australia. And I agree with Brett there. I mean, I think that the referendum has got a lot to answer for all this this racism that's suddenly now been, just you can say whatever you want now these days, and it doesn't matter, like it just, I don't know, it hurt. I don't know, but it just hurts people, with what's being said. But it doesn't matter because you can say whatever you want now, and I think that's got a lot to do with the referendum. Now, one more thing, Derek Wilson said, see the twisted narrative the media, both mainstream and social, spread out on the net. I hear people complaints, yet when you say it's time to stand up collectively, I hear silence.
Yep.
Why is hate so easy for people to embrace, yet love, care, compassion becomes too hard?
Yep, it does. It all becomes too hard. When you think about it, you see so many people, some of our leaders, and I agree with him. You see so many leaders that come out and say it was disgraceful with what happened during Anzac Day, but what are they doing to help prevent that happening next year?
So, Jeff, what's the answer here? What's the answer?
I actually don't think there's an answer. This is the problem. I think we're too divided at the moment to actually have an answer. I would like to think that over the next couple of months I can start pulling things, and maybe I think we need to go back to the early days where you said Uncle CJ in 2008 they had an acknowledgement. I think we need to go back to having acknowledgement of country, maybe at Anzac Day, and then move to the welcome to country a little bit later on. I think we need to go back to crawl before we can walk, and we need to walk.
But brother Jeff, surely if you're on your own country as an Aboriginal person, you are entitled to welcome people to country.
Mate, I'm not arguing with you, brother. I'm not. I'm actually not arguing. I'm sorry. I just thought I had a message. I'm not arguing with you. Honestly, I totally agree with you. But you said, "What is the answer?" Okay, you said, "What is the answer?"
Yeah. What about?
And there's not a short answer, brother Jack. Honestly, I mean, you know me well enough to know that.
100%.
I would fight tooth and nail for what I believe in.
Yeah.
But
you know what? And you know what I reckon also, Jeff, is that not only yourself but other veterans who fought alongside Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in these wars would stand up for it as well. You know what I mean? They know what it's like coming home. A lot of don't get me wrong, it wasn't just Aboriginal people that were set aside and forgotten about. Same with our they come here and they get forgotten about. Now, 100%. So maybe the veterans, Department of Veterans or whatever, can come out with a position on this, because it sounds like that the people that are booing are current blokes now, like in this generation. No. You know what I mean? They don't know nothing. You know what I mean? Compared to what you blokes had to put up, and the friendships you've made, the bonds you've made, with the guy beside you who happened to be a Torres Strait Islander or an Aboriginal bloke.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what colour you are, what race you are. You all bleed the same blood, brother. So if you're in war. I don't care if I've got some brindle person on one side of me, and I've got a relation black fella on the other side of me, and I've got someone from fucking China on the back of me. I don't care where they're from, as long as they've got my back, and we're gonna fight together is all that matters. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what what
Yes.
you're, it doesn't matter. It's what
You
you're
said it,
willing
buddy.
to do.
Who's got our Aboriginal soldiers back?
That's exactly right. No one's got their back, mate.
No.
I mean, no one's got their back. Now, when but people are probably going to say, oh, when I joined the army, it was one of the most racist organisations that you could ever join. When I joined in 1978, it was completely racist. I can tell you that right now. You didn't say that you were black, mate, because if you didn't say that you were black and you didn't look black, you could get away with a lot of stuff. But if you said you were black, you would get belted. That was all. Or you'd get the shit details. You'd get any shit job that was, that was coming up. You would get it because it was one of the most racist identities that was going around back in those days. Now it's slightly improved. I don't know whether it's improved a lot. But if we're talking about soldiers as well, Jack, I mean, think about, the people that went to Vietnam. One of the greatest Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander soldiers that went to Vietnam was a person by the name of Buddy Lee. Google him, and he was absolutely awesome. And I met Buddy Lee at 6th Battalion, and he was part of the actual battalion back in those early days. A gentleman, a scholar, and just a downright beautiful Aboriginal man. But I want to go back to Vietnam because I want to reflect on a little bit of Vietnam, because when they marched in Sydney in Vietnam, I don't know if you guys knew about this, when they marched in Sydney in Vietnam, when they come back from Vietnam and marched in Sydney, they got spat on.
Yeah.
They got eggs thrown on them. They got water thrown on them. They got every single thing thrown on them because they come back to this country from a war that people didn't believe in and people didn't understand. And this is what the biggest problem with a lot of us Australians today is: they don't understand. Don't understand what, not just veterans, but veterans' family, veterans' community. You could have an Aboriginal soldier, and you know what it's like. You've got 5 uncles and 9 aunties, and your whole community is your family. When you're affected, your whole community is affected. That's the same as the non-Indigenous people. When someone's disrespected and spat on, the whole family spat on. So in that way, we're all the same. We're all the same. We're just a different colour. You've got white skin, I've got black skin, but we're all the same. The national anthem to we are one nation. 27 nations to say you stand over there and you stand over there. Time to move forward is now. If we don't start moving forward, we're going to go backwards. I can tell you that right now.
I just want to acknowledge Eddie Bull there. He said, I feel for Uncle Ray Minicon, family to him. How come our sea waters country and we get this on Anzac Day, that type of stuff. So thanks, Eddie. And I think
we've got Jan Hogan there as well, brother.
Jan Hogan
over in Wales. So she said hello, and she said, well said, Derek. I'm so sorry this has happened. So and then we've got Derek Wilson. He said the answer is for diversity of humanity to come together. The hate is being targeted against so many diverse communities.
Yeah.
Hate will always be there, but we've got to stop the hate from coming in.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah,
that's right. You're never going to get rid of hate. I mean, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Jeff's gone.
No, he's
bring him back on. Come back on. So
I'm back on. So we're never going to get rid of the hate. The hate will always be there, but it's how we're going to block the hate out to ensure that.
Oh, look, I mean, and I guess, as you said before, it's about us being able to educate, but it's also about people learning a little bit about history. So, and, if it's about, putting up the Tyndale map every time, to show how many different countries there are in Australia.
But I throw this back on the government, Jack, honestly. It's up to the government to start educating organisations that run dawn services. It's up to the government to it's up to RSL Australia, RSL New South Wales, RSL Queensland, RSL Victoria, RSL Western Australia. It's up to all those RSLs to get Aboriginal people on board, okay, and to get the education out there. We can't do it on our own. If they're not willing to come aboard and run with this, what hope are we going to have? Really, everyone, you know.
I guess the thing too, Jeff, is that like then these sort of things make people angry. Like our veterans angry and that sort of stuff, and then they get because they don't understand about the welcome to country and the acknowledgement of country, then they start to feel get angry at Aboriginal people,
Torres
Strait Islander people. So
you become a target, brother. You become a target.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is the thing about everyone learning together. Everyone coming together to be able to learn together and learn a little bit about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history first, and talk about those countries rather than just think that it's about being welcome to Australia. That's old hat now, I think.
Oh, it's an excuse people. It's an excuse people like to use to nullify something that's different. That's
we've been different for a long time.
It's just an excuse. It's just an excuse. And then I think it's up to us as Aboriginal people we're saying that white fellows need to actually understand our culture, which I totally agree, and it's up to us as well to take an interest in their culture. It's a win-win deal. Everyone's got to come together. As I said, we've got to be now one nation. We've got to be bigger than what we've been in the past. We've got to be much bigger than what we've had, and we've got to be more. We've got to be like the Anzacs. We've got to be able to honour people. We've got to have that mateship. Okay, with people from all nationalities around Australia. It doesn't matter where you're from. We've got to have the tenacity to say that this is what we're going to do, and we've got to be gallant in about doing it. This is the Anzac spirit. It lives. You don't have to be a veteran to have an Anzac spirit, mate. You've just got to believe in something to have the Anzac spirit. Everyone in Australia can have the Anzac spirit, as long as we want to work, understand, and help each other. We'll all have that spirit will live on.
There's nothing like that, that honour and that acknowledgement that we all put, on the Anzacs when it happens every Anzac Day. It's kind of like a day that we all respect. The efforts of our soldiers and stuff. So it's really.
But it's also Uncle CJ. It's all about respecting yourself. I mean, you've come there. It's like JB. It's respecting yourself. You've come to the dawn service to pay your acknowledgement to the veterans, but you're also there respecting yourself in doing that. You haven't come there for any other reason except respect you and respect the people that have gone before you, whether they've been black or white. It doesn't freaking matter. You're there to respect all.
That, Jeff, but I think too though that we don't want to do is put a divide, and this is the thing that happens with colonisation and still happens today. Is that it's about divide and conquer. We don't want to divide, our veterans from our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
No. We want to actually.
Don't want to do that. That's the least thing we want to do.
No, and I've always, and I think, I think it's got to go back to even at school and all that sort of thing. I mean, I like the idea many moons ago when kids were at school and young kids were at school and they were learning about Anzac and they were learning about everything. It was adopt an Anzac. Adopt a soldier that fell and find out everything about that soldier. Whether that soldier was black or white, it doesn't matter. Adopt that soldier and start learning the history of not just that culture, but the Aboriginal culture. If you've got an Aboriginal culture, if you've got an Aboriginal soldier, you're going to start learning about the Aboriginal history and where it comes from and how it forms. You know what I mean? It's all about starting
It's got to work both ways, brother.
Yeah, 100%. It's got to work both ways. It can't work just. We can't do the fight all the time. It's got to work both ways.
It's tiring to see this happen over and over again, and it's so disappointing. But why do we get disappointed? Because we've got so much passion and so much love for our mobs and what's done, but also for our veterans that have fought for the country. I mean, we got that respect, and as I said before, we don't want to cause any divide between our veterans and our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities.
No, I don't think it'll be caused. It's just the education process, the learning process. It's getting rid of the people that don't allow the people that want to do. I thought it was fantastic in Western Australia when they were doing the dawn service in Perth. There was this mob that were affiliated with them, I think in Melbourne or Sydney, that got arrested. They were actually turned away from the dawn service in actual Perth. They were said they're not coming in, and they said, why we're not coming in? Because you're affiliated with this particular organisation. Because you're affiliated, you're not allowed to actually come to the dawn service. I think
surely people have got better things to do than stand around frigging booing at an acknowledgement or a welcome to country. I mean, get a frigging life and do something valuable instead of doing shit like that.
I agree, brother. The problem is they don't have a life, so they've got to fucking find life somewhere else. Sorry for my swearing, but I get really aggravated when this stuff happens.
Here's a hypothetical. If a heap of Aboriginal blokes turned up at a dawn parade and started doing, what would happen to them?
They'd be arrested and thrown in jail. They wouldn't even be asked to leave. They'd be arrested. Why? Because A, you're black, and B, you're making a nuisance of yourself. So you'd be gone. You'd be in the back of the paddy wagon.
Doing.
And the 24-year-old, to their defence, he did get arrested and he did get thrown in jail, which was an actual good thing. But it still goes back to sometimes.
Yeah.
The colour of your skin, brother. It still goes back to sometimes the colour of your skin.
We did the same thing when we bloody joined and quartered. I reckon.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Yeah. Anyway.
But
we're not there doing that. We're not doing that.
It's been a really good yarn, fellas. And thank you, Jeff, for coming on.
Yes, Jeffrey, thanks, mate.
And sharing that little bit with us. I mean, I think it's really important that we do find a way forward. And again, as we say, I mean, we don't want to cause any divide between our veterans and our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, just thank you for coming on, giving us, that side of from the veterans and Aboriginal side as well. So thank you very much, brother. We appreciate you coming on and sharing a bit. So thank you.
I hope I spread some knowledge and people didn't get offended about what I was saying, and that's why I said in that message, you got to be nice to me, JB.
I did say that, and I thought I'm not the one you have to watch. It's CJ. He's
I thought about that one, but I called him Uncle from day dot. So
yeah, you're all right, mate. Yeah, you're pretty all right. I like the idea about adopt a veteran, mate, and I think
so. Yeah, adopt a veteran.
It probably can start small, maybe in your community. Do something like that. Influence a school.
Go in your community. Go and look up a veteran and adopt a veteran that an Anzac that never come home and find out all about that person.